Thank you for joining the Smooth Force podcast. I'm your host, Lamar, and I have the honor to introduce a two-time Olympian, Mr. Wyndell Dickinson. How you doing, sir?
How you guys? How you doing? Good to see you
I'm
again,
doing.
man. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you. Let me give you a proper introduction because there's a difference between an Olympian and a professional athlete. I did a little research, and the percentage of the world who is a professional athlete is maybe 1% of the entire world is a professional athlete. The percent of the world who is an Olympian is something to the degree of 0.0001 or some crazy number that you need to be a calculus to really understand and to really just really work with. So it is a pleasure to have a two-time Olympian on this podcast. And you're not just a two-time Olympian. You have nutrition certification from Harvard University.
hmm
Uh, you train professional athletes. I believe you say you train the fastest 12-year-old in the world, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a whole lot more. Let me not forget that in 2019 you was introduced into Virgin Islands Track and Field Federation uh,
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that is something that most folks will not be able to put on the resume. So I appreciate you joining this podcast. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you
No
for
problem.
inviting
No problem.
me.
Since I mentioned that you're a two-time Olympian,
Mhm.
let me ask you the question that I think most people want to hear. They're just curious. How did it feel being in the Olympics?
uh, to be quite honest with you, at the point that I was at the Olympic Games, I had asked myself at least twice if I was dreaming.
Mm,
Like really,
mm.
like I'm not trying to be like clichéic or anything, but I did. I asked myself at least twice if I was dreaming. I'm like, is this real? Did I really? Okay, all right, okay, okay, okay. And then after the first, after the first round, and the pain set in, from the race, I was like, okay, all right, this is real. This is real. So
An official Olympian. I believe you said you was ranked seventh in the world.
at one point, yeah, at one point I was ranked seventh. At one point I was ranked, I was ranked number three in the world. During
Wow.
the during the indoor season coming up to the games. But yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Nice. That's
hmm
impressive. O- Okay, so this podcast focus on health. It focus on fitness. I invite individuals who are deep in the industry, such as yourself, who is a track coach. I understand you coach speed.
Yeah, that's more of what I do. I'm more of a speed coach than I am a track coach because most of the athletes that I coach are not track athletes. They're football players, basketball players, baseball players, athletes that are just looking to sprint faster in the term of sprint, like 40 yards, 60 yards. Baseball players are 60 yards. Football players we know 40, and some track athletes as well. You know,
Okay.
and
So do
um I have the fastest three times in the world ever for my age group. I have the world record in the indoor 50-meter dash, the world record in the indoor 100-meter dash, and also the indoor world record for the 150-meter dash. And in October in Miami, at the Cutler Bay Senior Games, I ran
okay.
an 11 flat for 100 meters. And, Mhm.
I want people to understand this time. Okay. I
okay,
want
I'm
people to
I'm gonna I'm
understand
gonna
what a
tell
what
I-
a level
I'm
flat
gonna
is.
I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you how fast 11 flat is. 11 flat is
Okay.
so fast. 11 flat is so fast that it is it is officially the fastest time any human has ever run at my age. it would
Hmm.
be 11 flat. So that is that was a meet that was, like I said, the Cutler Bay Senior Games in Miami, and it was in October.
Okay.
You guys can Google that. But because it was not at what's called a USATF, USA Track and Field track meet, and it wasn't, they didn't have enough
Okay.
official USFA, USA Track and Field officials there. The official record is not mine because they didn't have enough USATF officials there. So, but
That. Yeah.
the time was done, and I'll do it again. I'm actually faster than that now. So
And that brings me to the next question. You just told me that you're 59,
hmm
and that's an unbelievable speed that you ran,
hmm
especially at 59. I think it's safe to say that a 25-year-old of in decent shape would not run an 11-second 100. Is that would you agree with me
well,
or what?
no, I would totally agree with you because what you're saying is unless you're a sprinter, unless you're running track, you're not gonna run 11 flat in the 100 unless you're training to do that at even at 25, 11 flat. And to be totally honest with you, I could have run faster, but I didn't have any competition. I was running against guys that were 59, 58 years old, and I slowed down
Okay.
at the end. I didn't know I was running that fast. I could have run 10:8, 10:9. I didn't know I was running that fast.
And that brings me to the next question. And I'm sure someone's interested in getting into speed or someone wants to increase their speed,
Mhm.
but they're already north of 30 years old. You just told me that you're 59.
Yeah.
So is it possible for someone 35, 40 years old who's been let's say they've been an athlete most of their life, but they were never really a track runner, they kept themselves in decent shape. Now they want to really step it up and improve on their speed. Are they too old to improve on their speed, or what would you say in regards to that?
I would say if they're serious, within logical reason, it's absolutely possible because I even like here, for instance, right now at this very moment, the person who is the fastest person in the world in the age group beneath me is the person that
Okay.
I'm coaching. So
Oh,
so so
nice,
so the guy who was
nice,
the fastest person in the world in my age group in the 200 meters and the 60-meter dash this indoor season pass is the person that I'm coaching. So
nice,
I say all that to say yes, it's possible to get, and he had actually stopped for a while. When I say for a while, he had actually stopped really training sprints for a few years, and we just started up like less than a year ago. And he went to
nice,
nationals. He went to nationals and he won the national championships in the indoor 200, and he won the national championships in the indoor 60-meter dash. So yeah,
nice,
yeah, it's
nice.
possible. I think yeah, it's possible to get speed back, but it entails a lot of stuff that most people, you know, nutrition is so huge on that part, and getting adequate rest is really important as well. If you don't get that and you don't understand it, it's not going to happen. you know.
I agree.
hmm
You know physically what to do to get the athlete to the next level, and you know what should be put into the body to help the athlete get to the next level.
hmm hmm
And you train I think someone who formerly played for Miami Heat, a professional athlete.
Yeah, yeah. He's not. Yeah, so he's still playing professionally. He played for he actually won two championship rings for the Miami Heat with LeBron James. That will be the point guard Norris Cole. I'm still training him now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I still train him right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. But people have the mindset when they start training and they start timing themselves and everything, and they get like they get beat down by what's going on in their mind, and their mind is like, oh well, I didn't run the time that I ran before. I didn't run my best time. I'm not getting a PR. I'm not getting
Mhm.
a good time. The reality is this: if you think of this, just think about this. If you look at Usain Bolt and you look at the personal
Yes.
best time that he ran, and he
Hmm.
ran, it was a 9 it was a 969, and then
Okay.
the next year he ran 9.58. Okay,
Okay.
for the next 6 years until actually, I think it was more than that. It was more than like 7 or 8, 9 years, or 7 or 8, 9 years. Yeah, it was more. It's like 10 years. For the next 10 years, he continued to beat everyone, but he never PR'd again. He never ran a
Mhm.
personal best again.
Wow. Wow.
However, however, this is Usain Bolt, and so people, I see a lot of athletes and kids, and they they're upset with themselves. Oh, I can't. Oh, I'm trying to PR. I can't PR. You can't PR every single time. What you can do
That's
is be
true.
the best you can be on that day, and understand all of the concerning elements that exist, from how much sleep did you get, is what's going on with the track surface, what's going on with the field surface, what did you eat, how was the weather, because the weather plays a huge part in how fast you are, and or how you did, and how you're going to do, and what kind of mental stress did you have, or do you have in your life over the last 48 hours prior to, or 72 hours prior to. Like, did someone die? Like, are you having like some kind of financial problem? All these things factor in to how well you're going to perform, you know so.
Okay. Okay. So and it makes perfect sense. All the factors matter. Let me ask you this question.
Mhm,
We're in the day and age of YouTube,
mhm,
okay? And you see you was Olympian, two times Olympian, but we're now in a day and age where you can just click onto YouTube and get coaching tips, or you can just watch other individuals run. And so my question to you is, if you were running now, if you was in your prime, you well, what one if you, let's say 25, I'm not sure how old you were in Olympics, but
mhm.
let's say
25.
you was 25 years old.
Mhm,
25, okay.
mhm.
You was 25 years old in 2023. How much will that affect your track time, your personal best track times?
Okay, so this is how I'm going to answer that question. Um,
Okay.
uh, best I could do was was make Olympic team, compete in the Olympics, and then get ran out by round three, and finish up in the top 15, top 20, top 9, whatever in the world, not in the top 8. Okay, top 8 is the finals. Okay, so I'm gonna
Yes,
I'm gonna
okay.
answer that question like this, and this is the answer. The answer is, I can do that now, and I can get all that feedback now, and so can everyone else. And so
Mhm.
the playing field is way more even. And who is the fastest person in the world in my age group?
Okay.
That's the answer.
You are.
That's Yeah, right. So that's
Mhm.
the answer. The answer is do I so Carl Lewis, if I knew half of the
Mm.
stuff that I know now,
Yes.
um I would have run under 10 seconds. The world record, first of all, the world record was only 9.93, 9.92
Okay.
when I was like, 22, 23 years old, um first Olympics, and every year you would only have about 1 to 2 people that would run under 10 seconds every year.
Okay.
You have
Mhm.
college kids running under 10 seconds every single weekend for the last several years now, whereas Carl Lewis couldn't do that. It's so all this information out here. Yeah, I would have, in my opinion, I would have been ranked exactly where I'm ranked now, in front of everybody,
Okay.
in my age group.
Okay.
And
Nice.
and I hope somebody in my age group doesn't like what I'm saying and says something to me about it, so we can settle this on the track. Okay.
That's there's nothing better than an old school race. Just matter of fact, who that reminds me. You know what that reminds me of? Of T.O.
So,
Who's going to race T.O.?
To and I are supposed to have a
And
race. We're supposed to be
Oh,
racing.
nice.
Yeah.
That's
I ran. So I ran
and
four
T.O.
three.
stays in shape. He's in shape.
I ran 4.3 a year
Okay.
ago. I ran 4.3 a year
Oh,
ago in the 40-yard dash. I have I can show you. I can show you the text messages. I've had several conversations with To. We were supposed to have a race, and then if you remember, a few months back, this big storm came to Florida and messed up Florida, and that's down there where he
mhm.
was. I'm in North Florida. He's down there, and so it messed his situation up or made things uncomfortable
Okay.
for people down there. So he postponed it. And he said he's gonna let me know when he's ready to do it again. But
See,
mhm,
before you continue, I
mhm.
want all the listeners to understand what T.O. we're talking about. We're talking about Dallas Cowboys
Tyrell Owens.
number 88 Hall of Famer
Mhm.
T.O.
Yeah.
And you was going to race him,
Oh,
and I'm
I believe I
sure.
will beat him. I believe I will beat him. He's 10 years younger than me, but I
Okay.
believe I will beat him. I believe I'll beat him.
That See, this is what I want to see.
Mhm.
I love to see you, T.O., and what Brandon Marshall.
Who
I think Brandon
who's Brandon
Marshall.
Marshall?
He pla- he played for the Bucks. He played for the Jets.
How old is he?
He's another receiver, NFL.
How old is he?
I'm going to assume he's
Nah,
30s,
no, no,
maybe
no. He can't.
40.
No,
I'm
no,
not really
no. He
sure.
can't. He can't. He can't. He's got to get a couple more gray hairs. I'm not even gonna mess around with that.
But
Yeah, I'm
he's
not.
still.
I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm not gonna
What
mess with that.
what T.O. believes T.O. believes he's going to be Brandon Marshall,
Oh, really?
and
Okay.
yes.
What
So
kind of times does
and
Brandon run?
we don't know his times.
Okay.
That I'm gonna look into it.
Okay.
I actually don't know his
If
times,
he's running a
but
four, if he's running a 4.4 4.5, he could get it. He can get it.
there
Yeah, he can get it too.
that
Yeah, he can
that's
get it too.
I'll
I'm gonna keep it
I'll
real.
love to watch.
Keep it real.
I would love to watch that race. I'll love to watch that race. That I'll and I can see it happening
Yeah, yeah.
sometime.
Brandon. I don't know you, but if you're only running a 4.4 4.5, this 59-year-old man is probably gonna give it to you. I'm gonna be in front of you when we get to that 40 line.
I'm I'm
I'm just saying,
I'm
it is what it is.
I'm looking I'm looking forward to seeing that race.
Yeah.
Uh that's big. I'm looking forward to, and I have all the confidence in you. If I was a betting man,
hmm
I'm gonna put my money on a two-time Olympian, no matter your age, 59, age is just a number.
hmm
I'm putting my money on you, even against T.O., Brandon Marshall. If how important is flexibility in relation to speed?
hmm Okay, so it's very important, but I would say I'll say this: one of the most overlooked aspects,
I don't.
one of the most overlooked aspects in hamstring and quad balance is the actual
Mm,
balance. So in other words, especially for sprinting, if you are doing leg extensions,
okay.
you want to do single leg extensions first of all, and you're doing hamstring curls. You
Okay.
want to do single leg hamstring curls, and this is what I'm about to
Okay.
tell you. What I'm about to tell you is something that most people will only hear once in their entire life,
Hmm.
and I'm giving your audience a gem and a diamond when I'm going to tell you this information I'm going to share with you.